What follows is jumbled, random footage shot over several days marked by flooding, tornadoes, and high winds. You cannot ignore or defeat Mother Nature. You can persevere and survive. Despite the conditions, I was able to put meat in the freezer, and that's all that really counts. I never said it would be easy, just worth it.
Hey fellas, another day on the trap line here, and it has been difficult. I'll be honest with you. We've had tornadoes, we've had floods, epic flooding. We're under a tornado watch right now. The wind is up, and rain is supposed to be moving in just another couple of hours. So it's been a difficult couple of days for sure. When I got to the put-in this morning, as soon as I put in and went upstream a little bit, I met a couple of canoers. They were from Orlando, Florida, and they had spent a tough night on the river. They explained they couldn't get a fire going. They couldn't get anything to burn. And then I explained to them that's because most of this area has been underwater, and everything is waterlogged. But I ended up giving them a ride back to their vehicle, saving them some shoe leather, that's for sure. And that felt good. Hope they had a otherwise enjoyable time. But I've caught one beaver this morning. The fluctuating water levels have been tough. The extremely high winds have been tough. It's blowing my snare loop shut, so I'm little by little replacing my snares with 330s. And that's one thing to keep in mind. You can see I'm getting blown around on the river right now. But if you've got high wind, that will blow your snare loop shut, and that's when it's good to have some 330s. Wind's usually not going to blow those shut, unless you have something you really need to be worried about. But I've got another beaver in a snare right here, and so let's go check him out. There we go. Nice looking beaver. I'll tell you one thing I've noticed about the beavers in this stretch of the river. They have a very dark coat compared to some of the other places that I trap. It's interesting how those genetic strains run like that. Here's an interesting result. You can see I had a snare support right there on the water's edge, and the snare was designed to catch the beaver swimming here. That's how deep the water was. But the water went down overnight, leaving everything high and dry. And look what I have. There we go. How you doing, buddy? You can see it was a flank catch right there. You got my beaver snare. You just never know what you're going to get. That was a blind set, and he's knocked down my lured set over there, so I didn't make a catch going up the bank where I had the sign. But yeah, he's just hanging out there. And down comes the rain. What the heck, I'm already wet, you know. I mean, if you're going to be beaver trapping, you're going to be wet one way or the other, dude. Hey fellas, meat trapper here. It's been a tough season so far. We've had brutally hot temperatures. It's 77 degrees today, and it's December 27th, 2 days after Christmas. We've had some epic flooding. We've had tornadoes on Christmas Day. People lost their lives in the southeast on Christmas Day, and that's a tragedy. So it's just been tough all the way around. But it's good to be back out on the river. As you can see behind me, the flooding has come down a lot. The river is still high, it's muddy, the current is swift. So that means I'm having to set snares up on the bank. Anything that's in the water, the current is just so strong, it's not feasible. But you know, it's better to get something out than nothing out, right? And who knows? Maybe we'll get lucky. So anyway, oh, and one other thing I wanted to show you, a little trick here that I've come up with that may help some of you guys out. It's a little bit of a kayak anchor for pushing into the mud. One of the situations that I run into, especially when the current is moving, is I'll pull up to make a set, get out of the boat, and you turn around, your boat's trying to float away, which is not good. So here's what I came up with. I just have a piece of polyethylene rope. Right here, it's the floating type of rope, which is always good when you're working around boats. It's clipped onto the front. I guess it's about 3 or 4 feet, and this is my anchor. All I did was take about I don't know, 10 or 12 inch piece of rebar, 3/8 inch rebar, tack welded a number 9 wire loop on it, tied the rope to it. What happens is when I'm coming up the river and I get out, all I do, shove that in, and you can see that's good and secure. The boat's not going anywhere. Pull it out, throw it back down the hatch, and away I go. A lot of people use brush clips, but if you're in an area where there's not any brush, that's not any good. But there's always dirt and mud. So just get out, shove it in. That's one less thing you have to worry about. One little trick when it comes to pulling your earth anchors up, if I just try to pull with my bare hand right here, that's going to cut into my flesh. That's going to be extremely difficult to do. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of rebar, which is my boat anchor, and I'm just going to wrap this around a couple of times, and then I'm going to use the bar and pull straight up. Then I'm going to clean all of this off of the anchor, because if that dries, it'll dry like concrete. Much easier to take a second or two and do it now rather than fight with it later. All right, let's head on down the line. I had a snare in here. The snare is gone, set's tore it up. And look at there, we got a little turtle coming down the slide. And over there is our beaver. And you can see he got wrapped around that underbrush. And then when the water came up, it drowned him. So even though I was trying to keep him alive, I did not succeed. But Mr. Turtle lived to swim another day. You never know.
At this point, the situation just became untenable. The weather became so bad and the water level so high that I simply had to get off the river and wait it out.